The really interesting thing with Strata is that sometimes we come up with these phrases that don't actually exist in the legislation. So in the legislation, they don't refer to breach of bylaws, they refer about compliance with bylaws. But of course, lawyers being lawyers and people being people, they've used much more emotive terms, enforcement and breach, which indicate there's some degree of, I suppose, sanction coming. In a management rights context, we quite often get clients who are caught in the trap of being given the job by their committee of actually enforcing bylaws. So the statutory position is that the only entity that can actually enforce bylaws and go to the Commission's office for enforcement is the committee itself. It is not the resident manager's job to go and serve bylaw breach notices on people, knock on doors at 8 o'clock at night demanding they turn the radio down, go and drag people out of the pool if they're in their outside pool hours. That is not the residence manager's job to physically go and do those things. A resident manager should absolutely be reporting breaches of bylaws that they become aware of to their committee. So if the occupier of lot 1 is swimming in the pool at 1 in the morning, the bylaws say you've got to be out by 9, that's a matter of letting the committee or the body corporate manager know the next morning. And it's up to then the committee to go and do what they need to do in relation to that bylaw enforcement. It's not for the resident manager to do it themselves. Now, that's not to say a resident manager can't be involved in educating people about what bylaws actually are, because quite often people don't actually know they exist. So, simple example might be someone's parking in the visitor car park. They're not a visitor, they're an occupier. Rather than raining hellfire down on them from above, it might be as simple as going and knocking on the door, say, "Excuse me, mate, you might be new here. That's a visitor car park. The committee really doesn't like people that are occupiers parking in the visitor car park, so it's probably best if you find somewhere else to park when you're here." And that would be it. It's not demanding the person move their car straight away. It's absolutely not towing their car. Those are issues for the body corporate to deal with. So if you're a resident manager, don't get caught in the trap of enforcing bylaws and effectively creating enemies of the people you're living and working with. Leave that for the committee. But again, if you need help, please reach out.